What's going on, everyone? So I am still incredibly furious about the Sacramento Kings loss. You're up 19 and you blow that in a game that was arguably the most important game of the season up to that point because of the implications and the impact that it would have on the Lakers as far as the seeding and standings go. And of course, you lose, and the next day, everyone you need to lose all end up winning. And now the Lakers just continue to dig themselves a deeper and deeper hole and putting themselves in a worse and worse position. That fifth seed may very well be out of reach at this point. 4 games, you look at it and you're like, it's only 4 games. 4 games is a lot of ground to make up when you only have like 18 left, right? Because not only do you have to win 4 games, but the Pelicans have to all of a sudden lose 4 games, and they just haven't done it yet. They have an easier schedule than you. It's just you're relying on a team that's been good and consistent all season to all of a sudden not be good and consistent, or something happens, in the way of injury or whatever, right? Which, knock on wood, right? Like, you don't want to tempt the basketball gods, right? And so you look at the rest of the way, and it's like, okay, you're 3.5 games out of the 6th seed. Now you do have tiebreakers over the Suns and the Pelicans, but here's the problem is that, again, you have to count on the Suns to lose. Now, the Suns have the toughest schedule the rest of the way, but they're on a 2-game winning streak. Can they start losing some games and you start winning? You have a grueling schedule. You have a very tough schedule. Now, it does kind of lighten up a little bit towards the back end of March, and it also, in that month of April, you do have some very favorable games, but it's just, like, right now, the Lakers are in a position to where it's like you pray the Warriors keep losing games and you pray that Dallas keeps losing games and you land in the 8th seed. That's kind of what it's looking like. And the problem with that is Sacramento seems to have the Lakers number 2. Like, now, look, I think the Lakers can beat anybody, but who in that play-in would you want to face? Maybe the Warriors out of everybody, but you don't want to be in the 9th or 10th spot, right? So, let's say you get into the 8th seed. The Sacramento Kings Sabonis is 9-0 against Anthony Davis. Do you really want to be in an in-season tournament game against Sacramento, who just seems to keep dominating you? Dallas, you could beat Dallas, right? Dallas may be favorable, but you're probably going to have to overtake Dallas. It's just and you don't want, Phoenix can beat you. It's just, the Lakers are just in a really tough spot. And it's not good, and they just keep digging and making things worse and worse and worse for themselves. But you got the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the problem is, it's the Milwaukee Bucks, right? I'm talking about the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. They've been playing much better as of late. Have won and rattled off some games. They are coming off of a loss, though, in which they're probably going to want to bounce back. And it wasn't a good loss. Right? It wasn't one of those losses where it's like, it was a hard-fought game and we just unfortunately took an L. No, it was the Warriors blowing them out by 35 points. So you don't think Milwaukee is going to be extra motivated to show up against the Lakers and step into LA and get that W? The Lakers just, we can't afford to lose this game. Right? If you won the Sacramento game, right? Again, obviously, you want to win every game possible. You want to win as many games as you can, especially with so little games left in the position you're in. But, if you beat Sacramento, you can kind of stomach, taking a loss to the Bucks. It's not as impactful because it's okay, we at least beat the team that we desperately needed to beat. But now it's you lost to Sacramento. You got to take on the Bucks. You lose to the Bucks. Now you've just lost 2 straight games going into Minnesota. Now, as far as Minnesota goes, you got a little bit of a break because Karl Anthony Towns, he's out for at least a month. So that's a little bit of a break, but Minnesota could still beat you without him. And now you'll run the risk of a potential 3-game losing streak, and then you got to play Sacramento again. This time in Sacramento. So now all of a sudden, what? It's a 4-game lose? Now you're back to 500 if you lose to the Warriors? It's just, it's such a bad spot to be in. It's just not where you wanted to be. Now, again, the Lakers were going to have to win. Even if they beat Sacramento, they were going to have to win some of these games regardless. But here's the thing. If you beat Sacramento twice in the Warriors, then you can stomach losing to the Bucks and the Timberwolves, right? It wouldn't be, again, obviously you want to win as many games as possible. You'd like to beat those two teams. You'd like to, go 18-0 the rest of the way. But realistically, you lose a game here and there, that's fine. But now you can't afford, you got to kind of make up for that Kings game. So now instead of winning, instead of beating the Kings twice and the Warriors once, and then, if you lose to the Bucks and the Timberwolves, no big deal. Now it's like you almost have to beat both of them. And then follow up with the Kings win, and then follow up with the Warriors win. It's just, unless the Lakers go on like a 5, 6, 7 game win streak, it's going to be really hard for them to really climb the standings in the way in which they need to. Right? Now, could they squeeze into the 8th seed or something like that? Sure. But do you really want to be another play-in team? Like, how many years are we going to be in the play-in year after year after year? Like, this year was supposed to be different, and it just hasn't been. It just hasn't been. And it's just really unfortunate. And now you're playing a very motivated, a very hungry Milwaukee Bucks team that just got smacked by the Golden State Warriors, is trying to keep pace with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who they're only half a game ahead. It's just, there's so many factors that are in play for this game that are just not in the Lakers' favor. And it's not where the Lakers planned or wanted to be. But you got to get this win. At this point, you have to. The Lakers cannot afford to go on any sort of losing streaks. They just can't. But in the same breath, they got to stop trading wins. I talked about this before the Kings game. You look at the month of February, right? It was like, okay, 3 straight wins, 1 loss. 3 straight wins, 1 loss. 1 win, 1 loss. 2 straight wins, 1 loss. 1 win, 1 loss. We got to stop trading, right? Like, we need more of those 3-game wins, 1 loss. 3-game wins, 1 loss. Where you're winning 6 out of 8. You need those type of things. Where if all we're doing is just trading back and forth, you beat the Spurs, you lose to the Suns, you beat the Clippers and the Wizards, you lose to the Nuggets, you beat the Thunder, you lose to the Kings, now you lose to the Bucks, now you beat the Timberwolves. Like, you're never going to get ahead. You're just going to stay in the same place that you've been in pretty much all season. And it's incredibly frustrating. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do they got to feel? Do think the Lakers are sinking? Think they're sinking ship? Do you think they can kind of turn things around, right the ship a little bit, put themselves in good position, go get this W against the Milwaukee Bucks? Do you think no shot? Got to get the win. Milwaukee. We just can't mess around. Like, this is it. Right? There's still time. Again, anything can happen. A lot can happen between now and the end of the season. I made a video earlier today kind of diving into that, talking about that very thing. There is a lot of time left, but the clock is ticking, and it is ticking fast, right? Those seconds, are trickling down, and we're getting close to hitting 0. So you got 18 games left, and you are still nowhere near where I believe the Lakers need to be. I think the Lakers need to be around 45 games if they want to get and have a shot at that 6 through 8 seed. That means you basically have to win 11 of your next 17 or 18 games, right? That means you only have room for 7 more losses. 7. That's it. Maybe I'll even kind of break those down and go over after the Bucks game. Maybe we'll count down the last 17 wins or 17 games. See how they do against the Bucks. See how that goes. If they lose, then maybe we'll break down here, these are the last 6 losses. Or if they win, then talk about hey, we need 10 more games. Here's where it's at. So you see how the Milwaukee Bucks game goes, and then kind of pivot and shift from there. But you just can't afford to lose this. You just can't. But anyway, again, let me know how you feel. Love to hear it down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.